Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Spring Equinox. I wanted to do a class to celebrate the start of the Aries cycle. So we're going to flow today together and celebrate these new beginnings that start. So I wanted to give you a little backdrop as to the time that we're in and why maybe we'll be sequencing the class as you're going to see it. Aries is the start of the solar new year. So you get to have January 1st all over again. With this new cycle. And so what's cool about Aries is it's a time of rebirth and new beginnings. And so just like spring comes after winter, this is a great time to really have assert that courage and strength to venture into new places. So Aries is the archetype of the warrior. And so we see a lot of the attributes of a warrior that we want to start to embody through the spring energy. So things like courage, compassion, love, dedication, perseverance. You might have some other attributes that you want to add on to your inner warrior. And so this is the time to make really clear choices about what you want and about what's really important to you, and to cut away any excess, anything that isn't needed at this time. This is a time to be really sure about what you want and to go for it. So it's a time of overcoming fears and knowing what's worth fighting for, what's worth taking a stand for. And so this is the time to investigate that. So it's a very bold, courageous, fiery time. So we're going to see a lot of warrior shapes throughout the video. And we're going to work with handstand towards the end. So hopefully some fun, good stuff to kind of get your blood pumping and for you to feel inspired and ready to go out there and to do all of your inner warrior work in your own life. So we're going to start with some breath work. So find a comfortable place to sit, or it can be on a block or a blanket. And let's close our eyes or just find a soft gaze and take some deep breaths and check in with our own warrior spirit. So clearing away everything that's been happening and tapping in that deep part of you, that instinctual, animalistic part of you that knows what you want, that's clear, that's courageous, that's bold, it's a change agent, that doesn't let fear or rationality or anything else stop you. The part of you that's willing to take a risk, to fight for things that are truly near and dear to your heart. So we're going to take that spirit, that awareness into our practice this evening. So breathing in and breathing out, let's put our hands on our hearts. We want our inner warrior to be leading from our heart, right? So not from a place of needing to be aggressive or overly assertive, but a place that's guided by our heart. So in a place there is no competition and where we more or less inspire one another. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Okay, so we're going to start in downward facing dog. You won't need any props for your practice necessarily, but if you'd like to have them close and if you have them in your home, you're welcome to grab them. So coming into downward facing dog, take a moment to pause, breathe, connect to your heart again, find some stillness. One thing to know about Aries is it doesn't like to stay still very much. So this could be a month where you notice yourself always wanting to be on the move. So physicality and kind of getting your exercise is really important this month. Bend your knees and come into what we call a squat dog. So the spine is long, the knees are bent, so we feel like we're squatting. And then inhale, shift forward to plank. And then exhale, coming into a nice deep squat, feeling the strength of your legs, and then inhale, shoot forward to plank. Keep doing that with your own breath. Good, 4 more. As if you're kind of crouching down low and then springing forward. The next time you spring forward, stay in your plank pose, pause. Reconnect that core strength from the deep, dark pits of your belly all the way out to the crown of your head. Then come forward. You can set your knees down for this first one all the way to your belly. We'll do a low cobra. So pull the hands back, engage through your core again, and then inhale, lift up. And on the exhale, press on back to all fours, and then back to that downward facing dog. Breathing in, and breathing out. And then looking forward, we're gonna hop or step to the top of the mat. Coming into a ragdoll shape, pedal the legs as you need to. So as we flow tonight through these poses, we're going to be coming up and down a certain way to really tap into, again, your core strength. So we come to that flat back, take your hands to your waist, lengthen your spine. You can keep a little softness in your knees, and then long spine coming all the way up. Hands down, heart proud, deep breath in, deep breath out. And on the inhale, reach up if you can. It's okay if you don't want to look up. If you can find a Vira Mudra, that's great, but just stretch and lengthen your spine. If not, just parallel hands and reaching, long spine. Inhale, then exhale, forward fold. Long spine. Inhale, remember hands can come to waist. Exhale, right leg back. We're going to do what we call a low lunge warrior. So again, Vira Mudra, and you can back up a bit to go nice and long through your spine. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out and let your hips shift forward. Another breath in, another breath out, hands down, squat dog. Press forward, plank. And on the exhale, all the way to your belly. Cobra pose. On the exhale, release. Plank pose. Downward facing dog. Take your right leg and lift it up and back. Then you're going to lift that left heel a little higher and try to lift your right leg a little bit higher than it was. And then bring that knee to your nose, right leg forward, left knee down. We'll lift up to that warrior. Long spine, big stretch. And on the exhale, the hips shift forward. Stretch on the inhale. And on the exhale, down. Step and fold. Long spine, hands to your waist. Get those shoulders on your back. Lift the elbows just slightly. And then all the way up, standing. Hands to the heart. And then hands down by your side. Take a deep breath in and out. Arms clasped above. If that works for you, stretch your spine long. And on the exhale, forward fold. Hands to your waist, long spine. And on your exhale, fold, left leg steps back. Then again, more like an upright lunge first to get this squat dog. Inhale, press forward to plank. Then all the way slow, cobra. Lower down. Press to all fours. Downward facing dog. Breath in and out. And then the left leg lifts. Then try to lift, a little higher. Left leg a little higher. And then knee to your nose. Left leg forward. Right knee down. Hands coming up. We back the hips up a bit to get super long. Long spine. Hands on your waist. Take a pause. Then all the way up to standing. Stretch your spine long. Reach up. And then hands to your heart. Release the hands down. We're going to add on this time. Reach your arms up, stretch. And on the exhale, forward fold. Hands to the waist again. Then on the exhale, hands down, just listen up. You're going to step your right leg back and let your right knee drop almost towards the floor. I'm going to have to really fire up my left glutes by pressing into my left heel. And then come up to a warrior salute. So the right leg is dipping down, and then the left leg is pressing in. And I'm as long as I can. Feel my spine. Breathe in. Breathe out. This is a fiery one. One more breath in. And on the exhale, breath out. Good. Step back, and then the left leg sweeps immediately all the way up and back. And again, lift that right heel a little higher. And then knee to your nose. And then into plank pose. Breath in, and then chaturanga. Cobra again. All the way down. All fours or plank pose. Downward facing dog. Take a breath to reset. Then that right leg lifts up. We get as high and as tall as we can. And then knee to your nose. Right leg steps forward. Left knee drops almost towards the floor. Then the arms stretch and as I reach. So my spine is as long as I can. My right heel is driving into the earth with strength. My left hip is getting heavy. Couple big breaths. Then on the exhale, hands to the floor, step and fold. Long spine, hands to the waist, and all the way up as you drive through your heels. Then the arms are gonna reach up, and then exhale to the heart. Hands down. We're gonna add on again this time. Arms will stretch up. Again, that Vira Mudra, that big stretch through your spine, deep breath. And on the exhale, sink on back to chair pose. So again, I'm keeping my spine pretty long, so for some of us, we'll have to separate the hands because that will be a better choice for shoulders. Maybe go a little lower. Breath in and out. This is fierce pose, so let it get a little fiery for you. Then exhale, fold. Long spine. Exhale again. You're going to step your left leg back. Let the left knee almost come to the mat. Stretch your spine forward and reach up. Maybe there's a gaze that comes this time. Breathing in, breathing out. And on the exhale, hands to the floor. And then this time the right leg sweeps up and back. Then as you come forward, bring your knee to your nose. Right leg shoots back and then lowers down. Plank pose to chaturanga to cobra. And on the exhale, release. All fours to downward dog. Reset if you need to. The left leg lifts up, and we breathe. Let it get fiery and cultivate that inner fire that gives you that determination not to quit. And now watch as we lean forward, we just step right into chair pose. Couple breath cycles to build some heat. And then standing all the way up, reach, then exhale, hands to the heart, and then down by your sides. Full breath in, full breath out. Okay, we're gonna add on again. Arms stretch up. We're gonna add in some side bends this time. So we're gonna reach and reach all the way up. Get your spine as long as you can. Then we're gonna side bend over to the right. So I'm really pressing down evenly between my heels. And with my right arm, I'm lifting and reaching to my left side. A little bit, you can take that right leg and lift it away from the mat. Back up, inhale, stretch. And on the exhale, we're gonna fold forward. Long spine. And then we're gonna bend the knees and come right back into that chair pose. And again, going as low as you can, maybe even so that your hips and knees are level and that your arms are pointed forward. Give another deep breath. On the exhale, bring your hands down in front of you. So this is an option if you'd like to do a crow pose, you could. Another option is to do a high-heeled squat pose with your hands at your heart. For those of you that like to try a crow pose, you're gonna widen your knees, bring your hands forward. It's totally fine to put your feet on a block and actually not balance at all. Pressing your arms into your thighs, letting your thighs press back. You're gonna lift your hips a bit. Now I'm really squeezing with my thighs and I'm pulling my belly in. And if I can lift my feet off the mat. So if I want to, I can hop back. Another choice if you're in a high-heeled squat would be just to step back. Squat dog. Shoot forward. This time we're gonna go locust pose. So tips of the toes, chaturanga, arms back, legs lift. If you'd like to bind them, you can. Otherwise, the legs are lifted. The chest is broad and open. And then release your hands down. Press up to plank, downward dog. So this might be a little different way to get in the pose as I'm walking you through it. We're gonna lift the left leg up and we're gonna bend the right knee, okay? So listen, then you can hop with me. I'm gonna hop the right leg forward, secure the left leg down for a warrior one. So as I'm ready, I stretch long and then come all the way up. So your right leg is forward. I want you to land here. So I want you to find your first warrior one. So it could be hands, arms up. And I want you to think which of those poses feels more like a warrior to you. And we're going to stay here for a moment as you feel and sense that. A couple more breaths. Engaging with your core, lifting the core towards the heart, and feeling strength in your legs. Okay, as you're ready, friends, we're going to take the arms up. And on the exhale, the hands come back behind us. We're gonna open up the chest, broad through the chest, shoulders on the back, and down towards the toes. And we're gonna go humble warrior. So you can rest your right shoulder on your right thigh. You can also let the right shoulder come inside the thigh and let the head go. So vigorously, I'm pulling the shoulders away from my ears, but I'm letting the neck be really long on all four sides. You can also have a strap in your hand, and my heel of the hands are apart. Couple more breaths. As I'm ready, I'm going to come up, and I'm going to pop that back heel up. So I'm hinged forward, and I'm going to come into a warrior three pose, bound arms. You can also fly the arms back if you wish, letting the palms face up. So I'm hugging that right hip in, and I'm lifting the torso off the hip joint so I can feel nice and light on the top of my right thigh. So back hamstrings are really working, back glute. One more deep breath, and then watch. I'm going to turn the left thigh out and windmill up and around to warrior two. Yeah, and then breathing. And I'll guide you again for your warrior two. Is this the shape that you like? Would you like to form a lotus mudra with your hands, hand to heart, right? Like whatever warrior shape you want. Are you looking forward over your right arm? Are you looking to the side? Are your arms up for warrior? Yeah? So this is where you get to experiment. What does your warrior want to look like? A few more breaths. Remember that long spine. And then it's a reverse warrior. So this could be in front. Let that front thigh descend. Let your core lift you up and off the hips. Breathing in, breathing out. Couple more. You got it. And on the exhale, we're going to windmill hands down to the floor. Plank pose. Take a deep breath in. On the exhale, come forward, chaturanga. Locust pose, arms and legs lifting. And then all the way down. Pressing to plank, downward facing dog. So we're going to do that again. So we're that hop forward. And if the hop forward doesn't work, you can just step forward, but you'll have a different leg. Now we're going to want the left leg forward, but we'll lift the right leg. And then we'll bend set. Take your time as you rise up to warrior one. Again, this is where you have all these choices. Hands can be at your heart. Hands can be down. Right? Hands could be up. I want you to find that shape. And then settle in. Maybe as you're embodying the shape, just noticing how it feels in your body. Knowing how these physical postures invoke emotion. Might even indicate things that you think about warrior poses or how you feel. As you're ready, hands behind you. We're going to open the chest. Maybe you have the opposite thumb on top. Remember to set the shoulder blades back and down. Keep lifting up the heart. Then you're going to hinge forward without letting the left hip swing to the left and continuing to humbly bow. Settling into those strong legs. Then as you're ready, we're going to slowly come up. I'm going to release my arms and pop the back heel up. And keeping that nice long spine, I'm going to lift off. And I'm going to keep lifting the chest, broadening my collarbones as I'm really feeling the lift up and away from the earth. Then as you're ready, you're going to turn that right thigh out and then land in a warrior two. I'm going to turn around just so I'm not facing away from you. And again, this is where, again, we could find different poses, right? You don't have to do the same old arm variation. So asking yourself what feels right on this side. Breathing in, breathing out, letting that front thigh settle back in. Feeling the lift of both sides of your waist. And then it's that reverse warrior. So we're going up and back. And again, it can be with both hands. You could separate the hands if that provides more support to your body. I always like gazing down or straight ahead just to let my neck be nice and soft. A couple more breaths. And then cartwheeling your hands down to the floor. We'll come back into plank and then into chaturanga, or you could always be lifting the chest and then all the way down. Plank pose, downward facing dog. All right, we did one round. We're going to go up to the top of the mat. We'll add on a little bit more, go a little bit quicker. So bend the knees, look forward, and then hopper step to that squat. Crow pose could be inserted right here if you like it. So I'm going to show you the block option if you do have a block at home. I love this when I'm learning this pose because I don't actually have to arm balance. So my feet are on the block, my big toe bones are pressing together. My big toes are not necessarily. And my hands come down, and I can just press my knees and my upper arm bones together, and I can lift my heels and push into the earth and feel all that good core work without necessarily arm balancing. So that could be an option for right here. Once you're done, if you're doing that, everyone come to that high heeled squat. Let the heels come back, and you're in that deep Utkatasana. If you got to wiggle your feet apart, please do. Go as low as you can, low as you can. And then with the strength of your legs, shoot up, big breath in, and then exhale, hands to the heart. I'm noticing it's really hard to talk and do this. One more round. Okay, so as you're ready, arms stretch up. And we're going to do that side bend again. So again, get as long as you can. Can you equally weight both sides of your feet? We're going to go up and over to the left this time. Up and over to the left. So as I'm doing this and I'm stretching, I'm going to use my left arm to lengthen my right side waist. But I'm lifting up and off the left as well. If I want to up level a little bit, I could slide that left foot away from me and balance. Then as you're ready, both feet come together, we rise up, and then we sink all the way down, chair pose, as low as you can. Low as you can. Then as you're ready, hands to the floor, high-heeled squat if you'd like, or again, crow pose, right? We're dealing with challenge this month. So challenge yourself when it's appropriate, right? So maybe crow pose has been a scary pose for you in the past, and you just want to try it. So you don't have to do it completely. Try a block or try a stack of books. Do something that up-levels your sense of risk, right? And as you're ready, hands down, we're going to hop back, squat dog. Then shoot forward plank. This time, if you'd like to insert or upward-facing dog, you can, or you can continue the locust pose. I tend to really like these poses because I find they're more challenging, strengthening work. And as you're ready, hands down, downward-facing dog. So remember, we're going to lift the left leg to bring the right leg forward. So bend that right knee a lot. And as you're ready, hop the right leg forward, step the left leg back, warrior one. So this time I'm changing up my arms. You can do the same arms that you liked. Just a breath in and a breath out. And then arms come up. Exhale, hands back to bind. And then opening up that heart, inhale, exhale, humble bow. Breathe in, breathe out. And as you're ready, bringing the arms unclasped, palms up, we're going to shoot into warrior three. And again, maybe I'm challenging myself to lower a little closer to the floor without getting too heavy on the pelvis, and that pelvis and the thigh bone. And then as you're ready, windmill it up and around warrior two. And again, just a couple breaths there to land. Then we're going to reverse our warrior. Nice big stood warrior. So maybe your hands just twist without having to actually press your elbow and thigh together. Breathe in, breathe out. One more time. And then hands down. And as you're ready, we're going to step into plank pose. Flow if you want. If you'd rather do those squat to planks, you can do that instead. We'll all meet in downward facing dog. Breathing in. Breathing out. Then as you're ready, the right leg is going to lift up and your left knee is going to bend. And again, I'm going to do my best to keep strong through my core as I hop forward. Set the right leg down. Warrior one. And again, I'm doing different arms. You can keep with traditional arms or whatever arms that again embody the warrior that you feel like tonight. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Nice, arms up. Exhale, bind the arms. Big, broad, open chest. And then exhale, humble warrior. Then coming up, freeing the hands, feeling the back heel. And then it's a warrior three. Don't forget to press up and away from the earth. Feel your core kind of draw towards your spine. Then open it up, warrior two. I'm going to step away so I can. A prayer twist or a warrior twist. So I stay in my warrior shape. I hop my right foot a little wider to twist. I'm going to use that prop of my elbow to my thigh to lift up and to roll my heart towards the sky. And as you're ready, hands to the floor. Step into plank. Remember, you can do those down dogs, squat dogs to plank, or if you'd like to go through upward dog and downward facing dog. Catch your breath. Bend your knees. Hop into that high-heeled squat. Again, the chance for crow pose. I'm going to show you some core work. If crow pose feels a lot of out of bounds at this point, so those of you know do crow. Otherwise, stay here. Then we're all going to roll onto our back for crow ab work. So I like this one. This one can be inserted if you're doing this one later. If you've not done crow before and you want to get the core strength to do crow. So I'm going to have my hands behind my head. If you're okay to lift your hands towards your thighs like you're doing crow, that's fine, but I tend to overuse my neck so that I don't do that. So I want you to lengthen your tailbone, so draw your belly in as if you're flattening your lumbar spine, and then lift your shoulders, lift your hips. If your hands can come forward, do that. So you're basically doing the pose on your back. So keep breathing. Keep breathing. Again, my hands can be back, my belly's pulling down, and then as you're ready, you're gonna come down. Feet down, open your chest. Nice work. We're gonna do it one more time. Legs up, heels stay together, and I'm pressing the heels together just so I can get some inner thigh work. And again, I'm gonna pull the belly down so my lumbar spine lengthens, and I lift my torso and I try to kind of tuck my tailbone a bit to lift. Maybe the hands come forward. Should be pretty challenging. We're going to end this with the handstand. So legs out, arms out. You can keep the head down, but hover the hands, cover the legs, strong core, and then bring your knees up. Nice. And then rock and roll yourself to a seat. Some of you will have to switch the legs forward, come back to that pose we ended with. Then as you're ready, heels down. Nice. And then just take a moment to catch your breath. You're doing it. We're becoming warriors, pose by pose. Okay. Last little add-on, last little standing sequence, and then we're gonna take it to handstand. Arms are gonna come up. We're gonna stretch and reach over to the right. If you want to hover the right leg, you certainly can. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Come back to the center, re-lengthen, over to the left. If you'd like to hover the left leg, you can. You're coming back up, lengthen, and then sink on back to chair pose again. If you need to free the arms because of your neck or shoulders, please do that. Then on the exhale, you're going to come into crow or crow ab work. So choose crow ab work. A high heel squat's fine just to work balance work, or you can work crow pose again if that's what you want to do. Okay, so you're choosing. I could do the mini version where I just lift the hips and I hold here and I don't have to arm balance. We're just here for a moment. Then everyone comes back to the squat and then we come back to squat dog. Yeah, nice deep breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Then as you're ready, straighten the legs and come to downward facing dog. This time you will lift your right leg up. Then you're going to step the right leg forward and then come to a long spine with your arms out in front of you. So you're welcome to bind the arms. Sometimes that, again, bothers, so you can go palms up. I want you to get as long as you can and look from your heart, kind of pour into your hands. So it's really strong. And then you're going to come into a bent knee, a little bit of a bent knee, warrior 3. And then breathe. And as you're ready, we're going to bring the hands down and come into a standing split. So we're going to really work in this standing split to roll that left hip down a bit so that we can get that big lifting through the left gluteal and hamstring muscle. Right hip firms in. Breathe in. Breathe out. Then you're going to bend that right knee again, lift the torso, come into a warrior 3. And then step on back to warrior 1. Just one breath. And then exhale, hands come down. Bind again. Now you know everything. Lift the chest, breathe in. Exhale, humble warrior. If you'd like to turn this into toppling tree instead, you could just lift that leg. So it's almost like a humble warrior, but I just lift the left leg. I'm having a little turn out of the foot if I want. And as you're ready, come back up, inhale. And then it's again warrior 3. Get there however you need. Turn the left thigh out, open up, warrior 2. Good, breathing in, breathing out. This time, reverse warrior. Remember that warrior 1 twist. So I might pop the foot out. We're going to twist now. Hug the right hip in and back. Keep lifting that left waist forward and through. And then watch, we're going to unravel and come into 5-pointed star, I think it's called. So I want you to experiment with this shape. So research shows that when we invoke powerful shapes with our body, it can actually affect our behavior, the way we think about ourselves, the way we feel. It actually can affect your hormones. So I want you to experiment with a power pose. This is known as a victory shape, right? You see a lot of runners do this across the finish line, basketball players, right? You might have your own sport that you watch that you kind of have your own victory. So maybe it's this, maybe it's something else. There's a Wonder Woman pose, right? A little narrower. I used to love Wonder Woman when I was a girl. Whew. Loved my Wonder Woman underoos. So whether you're going to do this, I want you to pick your power pose. And we're going to stay here for about 2 minutes. So Kennedy, can you time us, please? 2 minutes. Your victory pose. 2 minutes, I know it seems like a long time, but actually 2 minutes is what the research shows. Doing this before public speaking, before a job interview, before doing anything that scares you is what can affect your mood, how you feel, can actually help you invoke confidence. So we're going to try it, and this is a great practice to use throughout the month. So as you're in these 2 minutes, I want you to imagine yourself victorious or courageous in whatever it is this month that stirs you. Whatever it is that you're going to focus on activating your warrior spirit for. So I want you just to be closing your eyes and imagining what it looks like to be that warrior. So maybe you see yourself and what it would look like to be victorious. Maybe even notice what it feels like. How would it feel inside you to be victorious? Maybe you notice a smile. Make sure your heart's proud. And you're breathing in and out steadily. All right. When you're ready, you're going to cartwheel your hands down. Plank pose. Vinyasa if you'd like it. If you want to skip this part, you can. All the way to downward facing dog. Breathing in, breathing out. Then you're going to hop forward into that squat pose. And then one more time, we're going to come to that core ab work. So whether you're just allowing yourself to have your hands behind your head and you're finding that, or whether you're using your hands to your thighs, we're going to go 4 times crow to handstand. Oop, I got to move up. So exhale, inhale. My head's down. Exhale, inhale. 2 more. Exhale, inhale. Woo. Exhale, inhale. Bring your knees up and roll up. Again, we're going to come back to that squat. Then as you're ready, heels down, chair pose. And then thrust your body up nice and long. And then exhale, hands to the heart. We're almost there, you guys. We're almost there. Big breath in and out. Check in. Okay, last time. Arms stretch up. We're going to go up and over to the left. And again, if you want to free the left foot, you certainly can. And then big stretch, reach up and over to the right. Maybe you free your right leg. And then as you're ready, big, long spine, sink back. Then as you exhale, hands down. Last times if you want it, or you can just do the squat. We're going to meet into that squat dog. So maybe you skip the whole flow and you're just ready to kind of hunker down and get ready for the final set. If you're doing your flow, take your time. And then that left leg, when you're ready, is lifting up. We're going to step it forward. And again, we're going to come forward nice and long. So I'm really reaching my heart into my hands. Maybe I gaze over my fingertips. With a little bit of a bent knee, I'm going to come into a modified warrior three, so variation. And then as I'm ready, the hands come down. It's a standing split. This is a great prep for handstand. Rolling that right hip point down and lifting through the glutes. Feeling the earth beneath me, maybe blocks. Then as I bend the left knee, I'm going to come up to my fingertips and I'm in that warrior three. Then I'm going to step on back and I'm in warrior one. Back where we started. Arms reach up. Bind the hands behind. Big open heart, humble bow. And as I'm ready, I could fly that right leg up if I wanted, or I can just stay here. Up to a long spine, palms up. As I'm ready, warrior three. Woo. Until I'm fading here. And as you're ready, warrior two as you step on back. And I'm going to reverse here. Just for a moment. Reverse warrior. This is your twisted warrior neck, so big stretch. Then as you're ready, remember you can pop your right foot out. And we're going to come to that twisted pose. Good, as you're ready, unravel, come into your power pose. So maybe you try another one, maybe you go back to the same one. We're not going to stay for 2 minutes. Take a moment and then place both of your hands at your heart. And I want you to close your eyes and I want you to dig deep into an intention that you want to light on fire tonight through our practice, through your intention. It can be something really simple, but notice the energy around your intention. Maybe it's a new job you want, maybe it's something that you want to accomplish, maybe it's a fitness goal. Maybe it's just to be fearless through this really crazy time, through this whole virus outbreak. Maybe you just want to feel more confident, less stressed or anxious. Find something that feels authentic and true and feel it in your heart. Feel that intention. Then think of one action that you can take. Maybe it's little, because remember those small actions add up. One action that you can take that defies the fear you have around this. So if it's fear of public speaking, or maybe talking in front of, or maybe selling yourself, or offering something, maybe it's that you will do that to someone, or maybe that you will put yourself out there. How would you feel when you do that, that first step? So give your intention an action and give it an emotion, an elevated emotion. So think of how you'll feel. Maybe it'll make you feel confident, strong, empowered. Then notice from your heart that energy rising up and off your yoga mat and out into the ethers. Like an arrow being shot from your heart. Then our arms are going to go back out to our victory. Smile, because yeah, this is how it's done. And then windmill your hands down. Plank pose. Or you can go through flow, or you could put your knees down if you need a breather. all the way back. We're not going to go through the course series, yay. And then as you're ready, we're going to sink back on our heels. Take a breather. You need a drink of water, go ahead. So we're going to tuck the toes under. We're going to end with a little heart opener. And so I'm going to let you separate your feet. So mine are like hip distance. And I'm going to let you squeeze your ankle bones or your heel bones. Set your shoulders back. Now you can just stay here and push down and lift up. Totally fine. I want you to engage your core, lengthen your tailbone. If you want to press the hips up and away as you do this, I want you to come into camel pose. So strong through those legs. Remember all that glute work we did. If I need to look down at my heart, I can to protect my neck. Otherwise, I gaze back slightly, bring my throat back, and lift my chin. Gaze back, throat back, lift chin. Lift your heart, feel the strength on the back body. So you can either press up and away, or I can allow my hips to lower, and then rise up, and then sit down on the tops of your feet. Nice work. Breathe in and out. Wet and free of handstand. You're going to need a wall space. If you don't have a wall space in your house, totally fine. I'm going to give you something else to do. You can repeat a warrior 3. You can go on your back and do handstand like we did, where our head was down, but our arms and legs were elevated. If that's too much for your lumbar, you can do one leg up and one leg down. How we're going to do it at the wall, if you're able to kick up into handstand, that's always great, and you can do that. That can be sometimes really scary for some people. So I like to start in a down dog. So you can just start in a down dog, and again, that squat dog works. Gonna move over so I don't hit my plants here. So I'm just gonna walk the foot up the wall anywhere. It doesn't have to be at a right angle. And I'm going to straighten this leg and then sweep that other leg up. So I may or may not be, the higher the leg is up the wall, the easier it is. The lower, the harder. So this can be a great way to do it, so I don't have to do a whole lot of strengthening, right? It's still hard, but I don't have to kick up or worry about falling. So that works. On your back works. You can do half handstand by pressing into the wall, maybe lifting a leg here, right? Working that strong shoulder work. I'm going to give you 30 more seconds to stay here. I'm going to show you again on your back how you would do this. So my head's down, my legs, and again, if I need to go one leg at a time, I could do that. When you need to come down, go ahead and come down. Pause and feel that. Whew. Handstand, for some people, is one of the most challenging poses they'll ever do. So that courage, right, it takes to try a pose like that, the fear that you might be overcoming. So maybe this month, that's a way that you can physically work with something like that, is to do handstand every so often. Maybe to kind of fake it till you make it kind of thing. Trying to up level it each time. So maybe starting on your back, then maybe hands on the wall, then a walk up, and then you can think about the kicking up. If you're going to kick up, and I didn't show you this, but nice to know, I would start the same way I did with the flow that we did where we were hopping. I'm going to use this base leg to hop myself up. And then I can just come on up. So I just wanted to show you that if you have never done that. Okay, everybody, take a final flow if you'd like. If you need to get some water, get some water. We're going to close it down a little bit. So whatever you need to do to kind of calm your body and slow it down. So we're going to come to a seated position when you're ready. So I can slide my heels away from my hips as much as I want to kind of keep this a little bit easier, or I can slide them in to make it more challenging. We're going to cross the right leg over the left. And I'm going to start sinking down. You see my heart kind of sinks in my chest. That proud posture. Chest lifting. And again, if I want to move a little bit, I can. So this is a great one. If you want more glute work, you could lift the hips. So allowing that thigh bone to rotate and turn open in the socket of your hips. Stretching into the outer hip. Again, proud, open chest. Nice. And then as you're ready, we're just going to let it kind of fall to the sides. My right hip's down. My right forearm forearm goes down. I reach back and grab my left leg to do a little thigh stretch. So I'm on my right forearm. I'm on my side of my right hip. Little bitty thigh stretch. You can open the left chest here. And then slowly let the left foot fall to the floor. So I'm still staggered, right? My right leg's kind of open. I'm going to turn towards that right side and come into a twist. So forearms down. I could stretch the left arm out if I wanted. Just let your head go. Just feeling that rotation. And then slowly pushing up to your hands. Just windshield wiper your legs side to side a few times after all that. And then both legs down. We're going to cross the left leg over the right. Left leg over the right. Again, backing the heel away from the hips will keep the pose a little bit more manageable. Otherwise, walking it in will be more challenging. Again, like you're doing plank pose, chest forward, shoulders back. Proud chest. Remember, you could lift your hips. That was an option if I want a little bit more fire. Good. And then as you're ready, the left hip comes to the floor. My left forearm comes down. I grab my right foot. I'm pressing away. And again, thigh stretch. And then let that right leg come to the floor. You come up first to turn and twist over your left thigh. So sometimes it's just okay if you just have your hands forward. It's okay if you're not able to come all the way down. You can let your head go. And then slowly coming up, windshield wipering your legs side to side. And then heading onto your back. On your back, grab your ankles, let your feet separate. So I'm not really in butterfly, it's a little bit different of a shape. Roll your ankles, let the inner thighs stretch a bit. You can kind of let your arm bones kind of pry open your thighs a bit. You're welcome to roll side to side if you'd like. Roll the ankles. And then hug your knees into your chest, feet down and flat on the floor, hand on heart, hand on belly. Take 10 rounds of breath, feeling the belly rise, the chest rise. Then exhale out through your nose or your mouth. Whatever way it really lets you dissipate heat, tension. Yeah. Really letting yourself experience your practice tonight, the equinox, all that rush of new energy that's coming in. All these new changes, new beginnings, new frontiers that await us. All the ways in which we're invited to show up. Aries is all about showing up, presence, alive, fully awake. Couple more cycles of breath. If you'd like to take a Shavasana after this, I invite you to certainly do that. Certainly a great night for intention, for a little ceremony if you're into that. I wrote about this Aries energy. It's on my website under Current Astrology. So if you go to jillcasepdx.com under Current Astrology, I always have a little writings about the time. And then if you go under my support and education page, you'll see as the month progresses, more articles on different aspects of Aries energy and how to embody that or how to work that into your life. Videos, meditations, things like that you might find there. I just wanted to kind of review some things that are going on this month that would help you. Aries does rule the adrenals and the head, so this can be a time where we feel kind of, like I said, jittery, a little anxious. There's a lot of energy that wants creative expression, and so if we're not giving it a pathway, oftentimes it can turn inward, and we feel more compelled towards things like addictions or escape mechanisms because that energy needs to have a place to go. So sometimes people end up with some anxiety or kind of anger that kind of surfaces really fast. And so great channels for that are physical exercise for sure, or really putting action behind your intentions. So one of the most important things you could do this month for yourself is good self-care, knowing when you need to get outside or get some energy. I'll try and post some more videos so that you can do that. We can do that together. So that's certainly one thing you can do. Another one is to really get clear about what's really important to you. This coronavirus is certainly making us do that. So get really clear. And then again, those empowered choices that align with your intentions are really important. And then 2 tools that I went over in the class that you might have known is that power pose. And again, the research is 2 minutes before you do doing that pose, 2 minutes for anything that causes fear or makes you feel less than confident can help decrease your cortisol levels, increase your testosterone, and gives you that boost of confidence. The other was, again, those intention, setting intention with, again, that emotion with it. Because when we can put emotion, we give our intention energy and motion. And so it kind of propels it forward. So those are 2 other tools that you can do. And I guess more of the spiritual work this month is that we need healing. We all need healing, right? Our own inner spirit needs healing. The masculine is deeply wounded in our society, where we either are overly aggressive, taking the masculine too far, or it's underutilized, right? We don't know what we want. We don't know how to express our desires, and we're not sure where to direct our energy, and so it gets directed for us, right? So we collectively are experiencing a time of great healing. And so a way to do that is to really work diligently at your own self-care and your own self-inquiry. We're all being asked to stay home, to nurture, to improve our health, and to really, again, cut away what doesn't matter. And so it's a great time to really do that for yourself, to know what's important and to heal for yourself. Because when we heal ourselves, we heal everyone, right? It's a collective force. And then looking for ways that we can serve with our warrior spirit through those attributes of love and compassion and awareness. So you're all individual, you all have gifts, and however we can use these gifts and step up and lead. So maybe it's just leading through kindness, through smiling at other people, through your empathy, through encouraging others, taking care of our family members that need extra support. So there's all kinds of ways to do that. So I encourage us all to do that. I know I'm going to be working out how I can hear you, if there's a way to hear who's there, because I see that you're there. I don't know how to do that. I'm still new to technology, so pardon the fact that this video is probably less than professional. My daughter told me it was going to be that way. I'm working on improving in that, and I'm really working on trying just to get more content out to you guys and not worrying about it being perfect, but just trying to show up for you in my own way and hoping that you'll show up for me and tell me what you want more of and how I can support you. One of my intentions personally is to really build this online, or kind of, I want to hear from you. So tell me if you'd like them, tell me what you want more of, what's helpful for you, because it really gives me joy to do this, like total joy to show up in this way. So I wish that so there's no way to figure out how to, next time I'll figure out how to connect. I was hoping we could like talk, but I don't know how to do that. Maybe I can't even hear anything, but so I'll figure that out for next time. And maybe I got to do it on Zoom because I have that too. Leave a comment if that's even possible. I don't even know if that's possible. I'm like I said, I'm learning this. So maybe someone that knows can message me. So you can always email me at. So anyway, thank you for those of you that came and practiced. I'm going to get better at this, and I'll figure all these things out. But I want to hear if you will. So maybe we'll just have to just type to each other. So good night. Happy solstice. Happy spring. From my warrior spirit to your warrior spirit. Namaste.